Good morning, student. This is 8th class. Student, here we will discuss about chapter number 6, changing pattern of industrialization under the British. We have to start our video. Before the colonial period, India was the industrial workshop of the world. However, from 19th century onward, trade and industries in India took a downward turn. In this chapter, we shall try to find out the reasons for this decline. Weaving has been an integral part of Indian civilization since Harappa times. In 18th century, India was one of the largest exporter of textile in the world. Towns such as Surat, Calicut, Masulipattnam, Visakhapatnam became famous as a trading center, while Dhaka, Baroch, Madurai developed as a specialized production center for the fine textiles. Some of the varieties of cotton textiles which were in a great demand in Europe included muslin, bandhani, calico, and cinch. Now we will discuss about the history maker. You can see the picture of Jamsetji Tata. He was the founder of Tata Group. He began his entrepreneurial journey in 1877 with the Empress Mill at Nagpur. He is widely believed to be the pioneer whose vision inspired the industrialization of India. Tata is the most notably associated with the Tata Iron and Steel Company, which is known shortly TISCO, now known as the name of the Tata Steel Limited. He is also known for his many humanitarian and philanthropic contributions. Now we will discuss about the different types of clothes prepared in India in 18th and 19th century. Now first, muslin. Muslin was a finely woven cotton textile cloth that was made in India, particularly in Bengal. Muslin fetched huge profit for the European traders as it was in a great demand, especially among the women. Bandhani was a kind of brightly colored cotton cloth. It got its name from bandhana or the bandhana, which means tying up. Bandhana means tying up. It is also even today produced mostly in Rajasthan and Gujarat. Bandhani cloth is produced through a special method called tie and dye. Means it has come from the word bandhana. When the Portuguese first came to India, they took back with them cotton cloth among with the spices, which cotton cloth was called calico, named after the town of Calicut on Kerala coast. There is a city Calicut today, where they first arrived. Who? Portuguese. Next, another famous Indian cotton textile, especially used in a drapery, was sint. Means mostly was sint. It is a cloth with a small, colorful, flowery design. It was in a great demand in England and Europe. Also, different types of the clothes were prepared. For example, jamdani. Now you can see here a painting showing the French queen Marie Antoinette in a muslin cloth, and this is in the right hand side, and in left hand side you can see here below a weaver who is preparing the cloth, which is preparing simply at his home, and you can see a lady who is wearing a fine cotton cloth after prepared. Now, next, Industrial Revolution and the textile production in England. The Industrial Revolution in England introduced new machines such as the steam engine. Next is spinning jenny. Next is water frame. Now cotton gin. Cotton gin was a machine through which the cotton balls and the cotton seeds are done differently. The power loom. These inventions led to a greater efficiency in the British textile industry. In order to harness these new machines and further improve and mechanize production, a new technique of the production called factory system was introduced. The decline of Indian textile industry. British clothes were cheaper and better in quality than the traditional Indian textile. That's why it was seen the decline in Indian textile industries. Next is British manufactured the textiles goods flooded in Indian market, so that the Indian textiles which was prepared by hands especially moved from the market. The Indian textile industry did not have advantages of mechanized nor the factory system because of most of factories were under the control of the British. Next is the British resulted in the decline of Indian textile industry through the process of deindustrialization. Now we will see the result of the decline. Millions of weavers and the craftsmen were left their job. They changed themselves into another professionals. Some work in other areas like the agriculture. Some people left the cities because of there was no any source of income. Now we will see the decline of Indian iron and steel industry. There were several factors which responsible for the decline of iron and steel industry in India. A series of British forest laws passed in mid 19th century because of the Indian iron brought from the forest area, for which they had to pay a high tax to forest officials to secure the permission to enter the forest. The demand for iron produced by local indigenous smelters also declined because of the tough competition from British steel. Iron and steel imported from England. This is also a decline cause. Next, fourth is, under these conditions, the iron smelter could not continue with their occupation for a long. Fifth is, many of them gave up their craft and looked for other means of livelihood. That's why it was seen the decline of Indian iron steel industry. Now, the cotton mills in India. The Civil War in America in 1860 adversely affected the cotton import from the plantation of USA to Britain. As a result, there was a sharp increase in India's raw cotton export to Britain. Enterprising the merchant made substantial gain in this trade. Some of them decided to invest in setting up the modern textile factories in India. The cotton textile industries became one of the first largely Indian-owned modern industry in India. In 1877, Jamsetji Nusarwanji Tata established the Empress Mill at Nagpur. This was followed by more of the mills in Ahmedabad, Madras, Bengal, and Punjab. By 1900, there were about 87 mills of operating in India of the cotton textile. Of these, more than half were in Bombay. Now, the first iron and steel industry in India. Jamsetji Tata, however, it was his eldest son, Sir Dorabji Tata, handloom, who in 1907 set up a factory. TISCO means Tata Iron and Steel Company, which was set up at Sakchi near the confluence a series of the rivers Swarnarekha and Kharkai. It is today in Jharkhand, means at the place Sakchi. It is located at the distance of 32 km from Kalimati station of Bengal, Nagpur railway station or railway line. Bengal Nagpur railway line was seen as an ideal place to set up the steel plant. Later, this site was named Jamshedpur after Jamsetji Tata. TISCO started producing pig iron in 1911 and steel in 1912. This was the first Indian-owned steel producing unit in India. Student, thank you. Have a nice day. We will meet again in the next video with a better spirit.